Hi guys, it's Cammy and welcome to another VR video. In this video, I am going to be talking about the up and coming release of Arizona Sunshine 2, possibly one of the biggest VR game releases of the entire year. Arizona Sunshine 2 is an action adventure game based around the zombie apocalypse in, you guessed it, Arizona, and is scheduled to be released on December 7th, 2023. And this video is going to be talking about the game as well as the massive impact that it can have on the future of VR as a whole. So let's get right into the video. Everybody and their mothers in the VR industry are waiting patiently for the release of Arizona Sunshine 2 because of how good the first Arizona Sunshine was. It was a game that pushed the boundaries of VR, giving the player one of the best ways to play an apocalypse sim back when it was released in 2016. And yet even today, it is one of the better VR games available. Although dated by today's standards, it was made in 2016. There is still a lot of fun to be had from it, and Arizona Sunshine 2 seems to improve upon the original in a pretty hefty way. Now, I have only seen gameplay clips of the game, mainly because it isn't out yet, and I'm not exactly the prime candidate for a review copy. However, my first impression of the game is ridiculously positive. The graphics look better, the gore is incredible, the weapons are plentiful, and the addition of Buddy, your four-legged companion, is nothing short of spectacular. This game feels comparable to the new Dead Island game that released this year, which is one of my favourite games of all time, and for a VR game, that is insanity. Now, this is the type of game that VR has needed for some time now. A game created by a big studio that delivers on content and story. Vertigo Games seems to be doing just that, and depending on the success that it receives, this may pave the way for more huge VR titles in the future sooner rather than later. This feels like a game that is going to be Half-Life Alyx levels of quality and will serve as an example of what a big budget VR game can be. There are currently different YouTubers online at the moment who have been granted access to the game, so I'd fully recommend you check out their videos before you even consider paying £50 for a VR game. From what I've seen, I feel that the game is enough to justify purchasing it, but that's just my opinion. I'm terrible with money, so do with that as you will. Now, something I thought was very important to bring up, ever since the release of the first Arizona Sunshine game, there hasn't really been too many huge releases on the VR platform, or at least on the scale of Arizona Sunshine. Obviously, Half-Life Alyx being the most notable VR exclusive in recent years, showing what was actually possible in the genre, and also shows what is possible when a huge player in the whole gaming industry puts time and resources toward the VR genre despite the limited return on investment. With that being said, money seems to be a real chokehold when it comes to massive VR games. The love for the industry alone has spawned in some incredible games over the recent years, but love alone isn't quite enough to propel a whole platform to the forefront of gamers' interests. Having games with significant investment behind them is imperative for VR to keep as relevant as it has over the years. Otherwise, headsets are going to end up collecting dust in people's cupboards and drawers. Here's a fun yet alarming fact. Ever since the release of Arizona Sunshine back in 2016, only 31 games have been higher rated in the VR genre. Half of those games aren't even VR exclusive. Having heavy-hitting games like Arizona Sunshine 2 will generate interest in the genre and maybe even inspire other big companies to create VR exclusive games in the future, propelling the whole genre into the limelight it deserves. Will you be purchasing Arizona Sunshine 2? Are you debating it? Or are you not interested? Do you think it has the capability to help the VR industry, or do you think it will do next to nothing to help the platform? Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, I'll see you in the next video.